Hello everyone, this is Simon, your host for the Modern Awakened Perspective, your map for the path to enlightenment. And I've got a few stories here for you today. Just a few short and sweet stories I thought I'd comment on. The first story here is about Venezuela and gold. It seems Venezuela had some gold stored in the Bank of England, $1.2 billion worth of gold, and they recently tried to withdraw that but were denied. So basically it goes to show that if you don't hold it, you don't own it. This is a common theme not only with gold and silver, but with the new form of currency, cryptocurrency. Another good reason to get your coins off of the exchanges, which was basically the point of the proof of keys movement, if you're familiar with that was recently a big story. And the reason behind all this is because if there's a third party between you and your money, if something happens, you may not be able to get your hands on it in an emergency. And Venezuela's learning that the hard way here. I don't know why they had their money in the Bank of England when Venezuela is their own country. They should have their own way of storing it and protecting it. But anyway, $1.2 billion worth of gold, and they weren't able to withdraw it. It was withheld from them. And if you know about the plight of Venezuela recently, they need all the money they can get. So it's kind of interesting how they weren't able to get their hands on that. So this is another reason why cryptos like Bitcoin, Litecoin are the future, because it enables you to be your own bank. You're in control of your own money, and no one can keep you from having at it whenever you want to use it. So I look forward to the day when cryptos are the go-to. This is the point of mass adoption, when everybody uses it as an exchange of value. So that's the first story here. And the second story is about a story I'm sure most people are familiar with, the arrest of Trump friend Roger Stone. I might have a little twist on the story. I'm not sure if you've heard of all of this, but basically CNN was there to capture this arrest, and to get there and get some good video of it. But how and why were they there? They were tipped off, obviously. It turns out that an assistant to James Comey, ex-FBI official, went to work for CNN after he left the FBI. And sure enough, the CNN was the only news media there to record this. Not only were they there to record it, the FBI had tipped off that they were going to be there for sure, because they weren't alarmed at all by this journalist being there to record this. In fact, he was there before the FBI got there themselves. Now tell me that's not crazy. Now, of course, this is a 66-year-old man, Roger Stone, who really posed no physical threat of violence to anybody. Yet they sent in more officials, more agents than they had used to arrest Osama bin Laden. And so that goes to show that they were trying to prove a point and try to show, make a point here to Trump probably, that they'll use any force necessary and make a big deal out of all this to make him look bad. Of course, there's some question about the Osama bin Laden raid as it is, because no one ever officially saw the body. They supposedly threw him in the ocean or whatever it was, some crazy story. So no one really got to see that it really went down the way they said. Perhaps that's why they didn't use as many agents, because there was really no need, and it was just a fake little story to make things look good. Anyway, so like I said, CNN was there, and they've been in the news recently with all the Covington Catholic kids story, and they had to walk back some of their fake news reporting. So perhaps they had begged for this opportunity to be the only company there to to show this, the only news media outlet there to report this story firsthand, so they could save face and maybe look credible again. All this just seems too good to be true. You know, again, it goes back to the coincidence theorists' philosophy here. All these coincidences just seem too unlikely to be unorganized, if you know what I mean. Something is going on. There's a deeper agenda there, as usual, not to be taken as a surprise. You know what I mean? So, basically, that's the end of that. There's a lot more to the story. I just get sick of reporting on all the fake news stuff. It just gets to be too much. For anybody with their eyes open, they should be able to see that most of these mainstream news media outlets just can't be trusted. So, the last little story I want to include in today's report is about 58,000 non-citizens voting here in Texas over the last few years. Not only were there 58,000 votes by non-citizens, there were 95,000 non-citizens registered to vote. That was found out here recently. In Texas, the Attorney General named Ken Paxton reported this, that you know, all this illegal voting had taken place. This comes on the heels of another story out of California of, I believe it was 150,000 illegal votes in the previous election here. So how are all these illegals getting the driver's licenses and other things to be allowed to vote? Sanctuary cities and all these programs designed to help people who cross the border illegally, when there's plenty of people here in America already that were born here that are struggling and could use all the benefits that these illegals are soaking up. They're promised all kinds of you know, social programs to help them. No wonder everybody's coming here, because the countries they're fleeing from don't offer this sort of handout. It's just ridiculous. And you can almost guarantee, and I don't have the numbers here, but I'd be willing to bet the house that the majority, if not all, of these illegal votes were for Democrats, because those are the ones that want to hand out all this free stuff to everybody, when in reality nothing's free. All this stuff is being paid for by the taxpayers one way or another. Even if you don't realize it, the money's got to come from somewhere, and the rich and powerful elite aren't just handing it out of their own pocket. You can guarantee that. So that's the stories for today. Hopefully you guys like the content I provide. If you have any comments, good or bad, leave them down in the comment section, and I'll be sure to respond. I read every comment that comes in. If you like the content I provide, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. All that helps the channel and my content reach more people's eyes, and that's the point, is to spread my message as far as possible. I want people to be able to see things that have them understand the world in a different light, because that sort of information helped me and changed my life for the better, and I want to do the same in return. I want to help as many people as possible find information that can improve their life. All right, thanks guys. I'll see you on the next one.